Hi, this is Stephen Willis, Mr. Steve, the STEAM Program Manager for Chicago Youth Centers, CYC. And in this video demonstration titled Inkscape Basics, Rasterized Images versus Vector Graphics, I will explain the difference between these two types of digital compositions, and then I will show you how to convert rasterized images into vector graphics using Inkscape. And we want to do this in order to prepare vector art to be cut using machines in our Maker Lab, like the vinyl cutter or the wood cutter or our laser cutter, which are all subtractive machines that uses scalable vector graphics to create objects. So let's get started. So first, I'm going to open up my Inkscape to show you what functions of our software we're going to use today or in this video. So we're going to be focusing on File, which will allow us to open different objects in Inkscape, the free vector drawing software. We'll be focusing on Object, which will allow us to group things and ungroup things together. We'll also be focusing on Path. This is the drop-down menu that would allow us to actually convert a rasterized image into a vector graphic. Over here to our left, in terms of our tools, we'll only be focusing on our Picker or Select tool, which, as you know from previous videos, will not allow you to change any object in Inkscape unless you select it. We'll be focusing on this, our Zoom tool, which looks like this little magnifying glass, and pretty much that's it. That's all we're going to be focusing on today for our activity. So I'm going to close this out here. Actually, close that out here so that we can keep things a little simple. And I'm going to minimize this. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to get an image. And for the purposes of this activity, I am actually going to go to use the Google Chrome web browser, go to Google, and I'm going to do an image search. And when you actually first open up Google, it'll just be this basic search with all of these that would yield results of different types of home pages, search results with documentation and different things like that. But in case you didn't know, there's actually over here to your right, you can actually make this just an image search. And if you can see by where it says my Gmail and right here where it says images, you click on that and then you can just do a search based on Google Images. And so, so I want to cut out something, cut out a lion cutout. I like lions. I think lions are really cool, just like I am. So I'm going to search for a lion, but in order to, I'm going to put in some stipulations of my searches. I'm going to put in lion. Then I'm going to type clip art. Oh, I've already done it right here. Lion, clip art, black and white. And the reason why I did lion, clip art, and black and white is because I want it to be a simple image, and I don't need to be concerned about colors, because it doesn't matter what color it is. If I'm going to cut it out with one of my machines, it's just going to be whatever color of material that I put into the machine to cut it out. So it doesn't matter if it has colors on it. So black and white is good. So let's look at some of these images. Let's say we want to cut out something in the vinyl with the vinyl cutter. We compare some of these images. Some of these images would be a little bit more difficult to work with than others, because what happens is that the vinyl cutter cuts out where the black meets the white. So wherever black turns into white or white turns into black, that would be a cutout line. So if you have an image that is really, really intricate, you'll have to take out the part that you don't want. And if it's really intricate, you'll have a lot of really intricate parts to take out. So for instance, this image right here, we can definitely convert that to a vector graphic, and we can definitely cut that out on a vinyl cutter. But weeding out all of those little parts or this one, reading out all those little parts would be it's going to be really time consuming and painstaking. So for our first cutouts, maybe something like this would be good, but I want to look for something a little cooler. Let's see, scroll down. I like this one right here. So I'm going to choose this one right here. I think that's pretty cool. I like the line with the crown on it. And then I am going to right click on it. And I'm going to go to, I can either do copy, minimize that, go into my Inkscape and do Control V, paste. And as you can see, it's pasted right into my Inkscape. All I did was press right, again, I right clicked on the image in the software or in the Google search, image search, and then I opened up Inkscape and did Control V and I just pasted it in Inkscape. So now what I want to do is I want to scale this, and I don't know if you remember from or if you've seen any of the previous activities, but in order to scale, you have to select the image first or the object first. You have to hold down Control and click and drag the corner, and it'll scale the image uniformly. Otherwise, if you do one of these numbers where you just click and drag one of these, you'll skew your image to something that you might not really like. So let's undo those, and let's keep it at this scale. All right, so now that that's selected, so I want to show you now, this is a rasterized image. And the reason why I know this is a rasterized image, because if I go to my zoom tool, hold on a moment. Remember, this thing can be a little temperamental. If I go to my zoom tool and I select my zoom tool and I zoom in on this, you can see all those jagged edges right there? That lets me know that this image composition is put together with what's called pixels. Pixels are these little square representation of colors, and when they are all put together, they form an image. So if I hold shift, I can hold shift, zoom out of this. And so I want to change, so this is a rasterized image. I want to change this into a vector graphic. And a vector graphic is made up of paths and curves and shapes that are put together by nodes and endpoints. And in that type of graphic communicates very well with our machines in order to cut them out. So I'm going to convert this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to select this, all right? I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to go up here to where it says path. I'm going to go to where it says path. And when you go to path, you want to go down to the third one where it says trace bitmap. And then you'll get this window that comes up. And I would just say go with the default settings, and that should work out pretty well for you. You can press update to see how it's going to look. And this is going to trace the perceived path of the image to create a vector graphic. And so that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to press OK. I'm going to exit out of that window. And as you can see, if I click and drag, that it pasted a